The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericaempowerment.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I hope that you had a beautiful week, and I'm really excited about today's topic. We are talking about how you are absolutely enough. And I want to dispel that myth and those little voices sometimes that whisper that you aren't, that you're not enough, that you need to be less or more or taller or shorter or different or learn one more thing to make a difference. And what we're going to help you understand today and really empower you in is that you, just as you are absolutely enough. And as we were preparing for the show, I was thinking about my journey in this. And I came from a background where I received the opposite message. I grew up in an environment in my younger years that was quite abusive, that everything a little girl should not experience, I did. And I formed beliefs around that. I started to believe that it was my fault, that there was something wrong with me, that I wasn't okay, that I didn't matter, and that it wasn't safe to be seen or heard. And in fact, it must be my fault that they're treating me this way. And when I was eventually rescued from that environment and I got to go on a healing journey, I started to learn that I was actually beautifully and wonderfully made, that those beliefs were lies, not truth, that I did matter. They loved me, and so I learned that I was lovable. And I learned I was lovable as I was. That they wanted me, not just what I did or what I would try to do or accomplish or things, ratings after my name of some sort, that I might have a certification or I might earn a degree or I accomplished and brought them these things, that really I was enough, that I made a difference just by being me. And I had mentors and family members that would share their lives with me. And what I remember and have been impacted most by is who they are, and that they were willing to share their life richly with me, not what they've accomplished. And I want us to sit in this for a moment. And if you had a chance to look back on the grave, what is it that you would like to have been? I don't want my gravestone to say she did an awful lot of stuff. She crossed a lot of things off her list. She was a doer. That's not what I want my gravestone to read. I want it that I made a difference, that I impacted the world, that I shared everything within me that I have to share and be. That's the legacy that I desire to leave behind. But it was hard for me to step into that as long as I kept believing I wasn't enough, or I needed to be different, or I wasn't okay. And I look out in the world and I see so many people believing those lies that I used to believe, that they don't matter, that it's their fault, and that they're not okay, that they're not enough. And I want you to know today, and you're going to hear this echoed from my guest, who's also an expert in this. She has walked the talk. She knows what it's like to feel like she's not enough and to be on the other side. And we really want to impart you with the truth, let you know you matter, And you are absolutely enough. You are the gift. And if you've listened to past shows, you may have heard me talk about how there isn't another one of you in the background. There's not a Rebecca 2 waiting to take the stage. Like Rebecca 1 is not the test run. This is the dress rehearsal and we kind of hope it all works together and falls into place and I make a difference. No, this is the show. This is the opportunity. And we don't always have the chance to walk a path again. We don't always have a chance to meet somebody again. Sometimes the one time we meet them, the one time we get to walk beside them on that path is the moment. And it's hard for us to show up for those moments and really fully be there if we keep believing we're not enough, if we listen to that voice. So today for this show, I'm banishing that. That is not the truth. You are absolutely enough. And in fact, I want you to sit in this space for a moment. If you're driving, please stay safe. Keep your hands on the wheel. But for those of you who are able, I invite you to sit in the chair. Lean back. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Feel that chair supporting you, reinforcing that you are enough. Put one hand on your heart, one hand on your head, and breathe in and out. With each beat that you're feeling in your heart, you are enough. You are what we need. Breathe that in. Sit in that space. Breathe in the truth that you are enough, just as you are right now, this moment. Not one more degree, not one more certification, not one more class, one more book, one more article. Right now, you are enough. Breathe that in, and let's listen for a moment. What is it that you need to encourage you to stand in that space even more, to bring all of you forward, to really declare you are enough? And we want you exactly as you are. Just breathe that truth in. And Dr. Anita, I want to welcome you as my guest today.
Rebecca, thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here. What a beautiful opening. My heart was just so full as I listened to you share your story, your vulnerability, and struggling with I am not good enough. And that's my story as well. And I'm so honored to be here to have this discussion with you.
Thank you. I'm so glad to have you. And I didn't know if you had a thought come to mind as we were in that space together, collectively listening, and almost, I hope, relishing the experience of being connected in the truth that we are enough. If you had something that came to your mind or heart that you wanted to share.
You know, I do. I'm so passionate about this truth of I am enough. I think we understand it intellectually. We get that we should be declaring I am enough. But I so want this truth, this concept, it's not even a concept, this truth to go so deep inside each of us that we embody it in a way that it vibrates throughout our entire DNA, throughout every cell within our body, that we are enough. You are enough. You always have been, and you always will be, regardless, despite the pain, the hurt, the disappointments, the losses, the good, the bad, the ugly experiences in your life. In this very moment, you have such great value because you are enough right now in this present moment. And that's what's, my heart's just beating so hard because I so want your audience to hear that, to feel into that, to allow that to become their truth with a capital T.
Thank you. Thank you. And listeners, I hope you hear the power in that, the conviction in that, the truth that you are enough. You always have been and always will be, and absolutely are at this moment. And in fact, I want to invite you to stand in that. I find sometimes if we physically stand, it's a little bit easier for us to, in a sense, stand in the truth. So I'm going to invite us, Dr. Anita, if you don't mind as well, to stand in the truth. And here's what I want you to feel, listeners. This is what I want you to experience as you're standing in the truth, that you are enough. I want you to feel it. I want you to breathe that in, declaring the truth that you are enough. And actually, we're going to do that on the count of 3 together. If you're in a place where you can say it out loud, I invite you to do it. If it's a little more subdued environment, just say it out loud inside.
Can I join you in this real quickly? Because I would like to add to that.
Yes,
when you're standing and your feet are shoulder length apart, put your hand on your hips. That's the power position.
Beautiful.
And when your hands are on your hips and your shoulders are back and your chest is up and your chin is up and you're looking forward and you're declaring this, your body physically goes through a shift. Your brain will physically go through a shift in creating a new neurological pathway as you declare this statement, I am enough.
Beautiful. So let's take the power pose. Thank you for adding that tip. I appreciate it. So everyone ready? Hands on the hip, shoulders up and out, chest open, feet hip distance apart, and ready on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to do this together. 1, 2, 3. I am
enough. Yes.
Let's do it one more time.
That's it. Stay with conviction.
Dr. Anita and I, we're so excited. Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
I am
enough.
That's right.
Wonderful.
Woo-hoo.
Breathe that in. Roll the shoulders back. And listeners, we are actually getting ready to go to our first break. And here's what I want you to do. I invite you to keep standing in that pose and declare that you are enough. And in fact, if you can find a mirror, I invite you to strike the power pose and tell yourself in the mirror that you are enough. Drink in that feeling, that new neural pathway that's being developed there or reinforced. And when we come back, we're going to be digging into a deep conversation with Dr. Anita, gaining more insights and wisdom. We'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
Your people are waiting for you.
Do you speak to have more impact and grow your business? Your people are waiting for you, waiting to hear your unique message. Learn to speak more effectively on the Speakers Summit, a free summit designed for speakers like you. More info at thespeakersummit.com. Your people are waiting for you. Are you ready for them?
Your people are waiting for you. Be ready.
Have you read all the dating books and online sites, yet nothing seems to click? Have you tried everything and it still didn't work? Dr. Gary Salyer and Dr. Diane Frost are your co-hosts for the dynamic and transformative Safe to Love Again workshop, where you'll discover the secrets to using your unconscious mind to find your soulmate. Visit safetoloveagain.com. The workshop will be held on Saturday and Sunday, February 28th through March 1st, 2015, in Emeryville, California. It's time to move from stalemate with love to soulmate. Visit safetoloveagain.com. Are you struggling with changing or re-entering your career? Terry Hockett, CEO of What's for Work and transitional career strategist, works with her clients to craft their personal brand, gain clarity, and create career opportunities. Terry helps her clients discover and stand in their value and learn the tools and techniques needed to successfully navigate today's changing job market. Start today with your free membership. Step powerfully into the career of your dreams. Join Terry at whatsforwork.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Build your better business. Achieve that goal. Make good on that resolution. The Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you had the opportunity to find a mirror, look yourself eye to eye, and really declare that you are enough. And behind the scenes, Dr. Anita was sharing some of why doing that exercise, particularly looking yourself in the mirror, is so powerful, which she's going to share with us in a moment. But I wanted to make sure I did an official introduction so that you know who Dr. Anita is. So Dr. Anita Jackson is a psychologist, a global influencer. I call her an empire builder. She really wants to make a change around the world, empowering women to realize that they are enough. She's the founder and CEO of I Am Enough Institute, Outrageous Successful Ones Media Productions, and her passion and mission and purpose is to help women, so empower them around the world to live outrageously successful lives. It is my privilege and honor to officially introduce and welcome Dr. Anita Jackson.
Thank you again, Rebecca. I'm so honored to be here on your show and a part of your community and being able to influence your audience in knowing that they are enough today.
Thank you. Excited to have you. And you were starting to share with me why looking in the mirror and declaring an affirmation and a truth like I am enough is so powerful. Do you mind sharing that with my listeners today?
Sure, I'd be glad to. So the reason why I was telling Rebecca how powerful standing in front of a mirror and declaring I am enough is most of us struggle with actually having conversations with someone and looking them eye to eye. And we even struggle more doing that with ourselves, particularly if we've gone through any kind of struggles or challenges or traumas in our life. So when you are actually standing in front of a mirror and declaring a statement like, I am enough, there are several universities that have done research that shows those types of powerful affirmations, when you're really looking soul to soul, you're connecting to you, will create a biological response in you that triggers your brain to release serotonin. Serotonin is the chemical that affects your moods and your thoughts. And so when you're declaring, I am enough, and you're really meaning it with feeling and with passion, the brain starts to release serotonin. You start to feel more empowered. Then that neurological pathway starts to get developed. It starts to get strengthened. And then that particular affirmation becomes a truth the more you declare it, looking at yourself in the mirror saying, I am enough.
Thank you. And so in a sense, we're creating our reality and truth in that moment as we're doing that and declaring it.
That's
and
right.
I was reflecting back to her on the break that it's so interesting because that's an exercise I have a lot of my speakers do that I work with, is have them practice their presentation looking at themselves in the mirror and saying it out loud, not just in their mind, because when you say the words out loud, it's a different experience and your voice is different. And when you're looking at heart to heart, soul to soul, eye to eye like that, it is also a different experience. And I have seen speakers get up on stage and lose their train of thought when they made eye contact because they weren't accustomed to doing that. So it's a really, really powerful experience to do that. And I love the insight that you've given us, how powerful it is to bring that into our declarations and the truths that we're stepping into. So thank you. Thank you, Dr. Anita.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Now, I want to ask you one of my favorite questions that I ask every guest that I have on my show. And this is why? Why is this work of helping women live outrageously successful lives in life and business, why is that work so important to you?
You know, Rebecca, the reason why this work is so important to me is because I, like yourself, as you were sharing at the beginning of the show, really struggled with knowing my own sense of worth and value. I, too, come from a background of a lot of trauma, abuse, depression, abandonment, rejection, you name it, I've experienced it. And then from there, because I also struggled with attention, ADHD, I'm clinically diagnosed, something in my experiences told me that I wasn't good enough. And so over the years, I've really pushed myself to learn what it means to declare I am enough. And then what that truth did is it gave me that divine knowing and right that I can also be outrageously successful. So that's my passion. My passion is about empowering others to confidently know that they are enough. And despite their good, bad, and ugly, they can be outrageously successful in every area of their life. And I believe this will change not only the individual, but families, our community, and eventually the world.
Now, can I ask you, why outrageously? Why not just successful?
It's so funny. That word was dropped into my spirit. I had the same question, like, why is this being downloaded into me to pursue outrageous success rather than just success? And it's interesting because the definition for outrageous actually is to, all of a sudden I just literally went blank. Oh my goodness.
Well, we can come back. I know sometimes if we shift gears, that memory will lock right into place.
Yeah, it's very true. But it's so powerful because I think, it is. Mm-hmm. It's to be, it's almost like the phrase is, good grief. Isn't that amazing that I've said it so many times that now my brain just shut off and I can't remember what the actual definition is. I'm like, wait.
Yeah, no worries.
There's a difference between, outrageous basically means you're allowing yourself to be bold, to living your life according to your own truth, according to your own perception of what's right and what's true for yourself, and not based on someone else. And I think I have, for the longest time, been in hiding and haven't allowed myself to truly pursue the passion, the desires, the dreams that were so outrageous within me because my environment told me that wasn't safe, that wasn't practical or logical or probable. So I ignored it. And when it finally became clear to me that I had to allow myself to have this truth unapologetically, everything really shifted. So I don't really care if someone is actually pursuing outrageous success or success, but they are making a decision to be unapologetically themselves. Whatever that looks like, whatever that means, whatever that feels like, they're willing to go after that. But for me, outrageous just means it's big, it's bold, it's true, it's now.
I love that because that's what outrageous means to me. It's not playing safe. It's not playing small. It's not according to what someone would dictate to me. Outrageous means I get to create it. I get to stretch my limits. I get to be out there big and bold. So I love the feeling of it. I haven't looked up the exact definition, but that's the feeling I get from it, the connotations I associate with outrageous. So I love that you use that it's part of even the television production that you do. It's Outrageous Success TV. So I love that you bring that in to your message and into your work.
Thank you. If I can add on to that, I realized why it was so powerful for me is as formerly as a psychologist, in working with, thousands of women, it always struck me as being very interesting that so many women would say, I'm successful if my children are happy, if my husband are happy, if everybody else is happy. And I noticed that they weren't putting themselves on the list. And so I decided, you can only truly be happy and you can make others happy when you are happy. So what would happen if a woman gave herself permission to not only be successful, but to be outrageously successful? So that's really how it all kind of came to pass as well.
Exactly. Beautiful. I love that. I love that. I think it's very dangerous if we're putting the definition of success or if we have achieved it or not based on others.
Right.
That can be a very, touch and go kind of experience depending on their mood and their experience and where they're at. And if they decide to do the things that we think they should do in our lives, whereas if we really take ownership of our definition of success and what we want to step into and we're willing to own that, that's where I believe you can live a really powerful life. You can really have, in a sense, control and be empowered in your definition of success versus subject to other people's limitations or experiences or their definition. I love how you were saying their own truth, boldly lived. Beautiful.
You just triggered the definition.
Okay, let's have the definition.
The definition is grossly offensive to others. That's what outrageous actually means. It's grossly offensive to others. So imagine you're living your life so big, so bold, that someone else may be, quote unquote, grossly offended by you.
And that's because it's your truth and not theirs. I love it.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Well, we have just a couple of minutes here, and I wanted to see if I could sneak in one more question with you.
Okay.
So you have this, I call it an empire, a global influencer. You've accomplished a lot of things and are accomplishing a lot of things. But what makes you tick? How do you do all this?
Ooh, that's a really good question. It's my passion. It's my passion to see others heal and to be who you said earlier at the show. One of my favorite scriptural passages is that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And I am passionate about what would happen if I or we had the opportunity to truly live according to our understanding that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, and we're living from our highest potential. And from that, we can maximize every single possibility that comes into our lives. So what makes me tick is the passion to fulfill that truth in not only myself, but in every person I come in contact with, if I can.
I love it. I love it. So listeners, really take in that truth. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. And know that there are healers out there. There are global influencers that are passionate and want to support you in bringing your definition of being outrageously successful, your passion forward. I want you to feel that support. Know that we're here for you to help bring forward in your life what you're called to do. And here's the thing we miss sometimes, because life can get so busy. It can get so loud. There can be so many demands on our schedule, so many things to do that we put on the list, that we don't stop and listen. We don't pause, and we don't really check in and see, is this in alignment with me? The things that I am doing day to day, if somebody asked me what I'm passionate about, if they asked me what I care about, would they be able to actually see that in my life? Or is it a secret?
Mm-hmm.
And as we go to our break, I want you to lean in and listen. Take advantage of this opportunity to pause. And when you come back, we're going to share some tips and ideas to help you move forward powerfully to live an outrageously successful life. We'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
We're on Facebook along with some of the greatest minds of the world, and that includes you. Visit us on Facebook at Voice America Empowerment.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Have you read all the dating books and online sites, yet nothing seems to click? Have you tried everything and it still didn't work? Dr. Gary Salyer and Dr. Diane Frost are your co-hosts for the dynamic and transformative Safe to Love Again workshop, where you'll discover the secrets to using your unconscious mind to find your soulmate. Visit safetoloveagain.com. The workshop will be held on Saturday and Sunday, February 28th through March 1st, 2015, in Emeryville, California. It's time to move from stalemate with love to soulmate. Visit safetoloveagain.com. Are you struggling with changing or re-entering your career? Terry Hockett, CEO of What's for Work and transitional career strategist, works with her clients to craft their personal brand, gain clarity, and create career opportunities. Terry helps her clients discover and stand in their value and learn the tools and techniques needed to successfully navigate today's changing job market. Start today with your free membership. Step powerfully into the career of your dreams. Join Terry at whatsforwork.com.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. Now, I promised we would share with you a tip or some tips to help empower you to live an outrageously successful life, realizing that you are enough. And I know that Dr. Anita has 4 foundational principles. I was trying to use the right term, principles, to really help you establish this in your life. And I asked if she could share 1 or 2 that came to her heart so that we could start applying these principles to our life today. So Dr. Anita, can you share the first one that comes to your heart and mind of those 4 core principles?
Absolutely. So while we were on break, the one that really kind of stirred in my heart is we all know that what we say, the words we speak and how we speak them powerfully affects our thoughts, our emotions, our body, and just how we show up and how we live in life. So one of the principles that I want to share with you is just that. Every time you declare something or you say, I am, anything that's positive or negative with that particular statement will powerfully impact your life. So again, those words, I am, are so powerful, and that they will impact the direction of how you're going to live your life, whether it's positive or negative. So be very careful about what you're saying. So that's one of the foundational principles. And that's why I am enough is so powerful, because it's so comprehensive, it's so inclusive, it's so holistic, it's so full, and it just really, if you really think about it, it'll take you to a place of overflow when you really grasp that truth of I am enough.
And with that, just to restate this another way, so in a sense, when we're saying I am, whatever we declare after that, does that start to become a truth? That's what Absolutely. Our mind starts to accept as truth. Whether what we're saying after the I am is a positive statement or a negative, it starts to become our truth and our reality.
Absolutely. And from there, it will affect how we behave. It'll affect our habits. It'll affect our relationships. It's one of the things that I noticed with my clients when I was working as a psychologist, that all of the statements that most of my clients were declaring were the very opposite of I am enough. And it was causing them to get into these vicious cycles. And that was becoming their truth. They were the false truths, but it was becoming their truth and their reality, as you said earlier. And so when you can change that, it will change your reality, your outside experience of life.
I love this. So listeners, I want you to lean into this. This is an empowering moment. Yes. You just got a formula to create what you want in your life, to be who you are more fully and what you want, and be really empowered in that. So really bring awareness to what you're saying after the words I am. Mm-hmm. What is the truth you're bringing forward and reinforcing and actually creating and building in your life? bring in awareness, listen to how you are declaring yourself to the world. And I invite you to lean into, if there needs to be a shift, and bring in the I am, the phrase after that is the real truth, what you're really wanting to bring forward. Thank you for sharing that. Do you have a second one you can share with us, a second principle?
Yeah, the second principle is kind of in alignment with what you just said, is that I am enough powerfully influences your manifestation powers and abilities. And that is what you were just saying, is when I declare I am, you're removing all the limits depending upon what you connect to after it. Whatever you place there after the words I am. So when I learned that I am gives me the right to literally transform my physical body, transform my soul, so the way I think, the way I feel, the way I behave, and it transforms my spirit. All this energy started to bubble up inside me, and I started to see my outside world and my inside world change. Well, my outside world changed because my inside world changed. My truth changed. My value system, my belief system, my way of being changed. And that really helped me understand the power of manifestation.
Beautiful. So what we're seeing on the inside affects the outside, and to be really aware of that in our manifestations and our manifestation powers, I should say. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Now, I want to shift gears a little bit if I could.
Sure.
That was the pause, like, I don't know what she's going to ask next, but I am trusting. Thank you.
This is going to be beautiful, I'm sure.
Of course. You do so many things. And just woman to woman, heart to heart, what I would love to have you share with us, with all of your projects, all of your appearances, all the different things that you do in different types of media, the launching, the creating, the magazine, the television show, and helping others create those things in their life, the radio shows. How do you find time to relax? And what do you do to relax?
Ooh, great question. So I have to admit, if I'm going to be very transparent and
Please.
honest, I was hiding, and I hid through my ability to produce. I hid through my ability to work. And eventually that caused me to struggle with burnout. I was having physical problems like headaches. And I wasn't taking care of myself until I had a major crash in last year, actually. And it was in that crash that I realized that I was preaching a lot to my clients, but I wasn't walking what I was preaching. And so I had to take responsibility for the fact that I was not walking what I was preaching to my clients, and I had to take responsibility that if I'm really going to be a global influencer, if I'm going to make a global impact, then I need to walk this truth. And so part of the truth of knowing that I am enough means I'm enough of a person that I have value to take time for me, if that makes any sense. And so I made a declaration that in the new year, in 2015, so there are two ways that I look at the new year. There's a spiritual year, which starts in November, so November to November, because that's my birth month, is the spiritual year, and then the calendar year obviously starts in January. And so I've decided...
Dr. Anita, I want to interrupt you just one moment here, because that was such a rich tip. I don't want them to miss it. And then I would love for you to expand on what you mean by the 2 years that you look at.
Yeah.
So one is, I love how you just stated that you are enough. You have enough value to take care of you as a woman, as a person too.
Yeah.
And I think so many of us can fall into that role where we're taking care of others, we're serving our clients, we're giving them great advice, we're doing all of these things, do, serve, and we're doing it from a place of depletion because we aren't pausing, we're not realizing we're enough, and we have that part of enough is the value that we have within ourselves. And so listeners, I just want to take a touch moment here. Here's a moment for awareness. Do you remember, understand, know that you are enough, you have value, and you get to take care of yourself. You really get to live an enriched, empowered life, but part of that is providing care for yourself. giving yourself that rest and energy. And then Dr. Anita, if you could continue with what you were sharing.
Sure. Well, let me add on to what you just said. I want your audience to understand that when Rebecca or I or anyone says you value yourself, you're also saying you believe in yourself. Because if you look at the dictionary, the word belief, the very first definition is to value something. And if you look at the word value, the very first definition is to believe. So they work hand in hand. They go together. So it's really about, are you giving yourself a great deal? Do you really believe in your own worth and your own value of who you are as a person? And to kind of continue with what we're saying, I had to take responsibility that as a woman, I was saying no by my behaviors of working too hard. And so I was made to slow down, and in slowing down, I, did some internal introspection. And I'm very spiritual, very connected to my spiritual truth and value and faith. And it was in that process. So I was saying earlier that my spiritual year starts in November, because that's my birth month, and then obviously the calendar year. And so as I tapped into my spiritual truth, I realized I had to start taking care of me too if I'm going to make a global impact. And so to answer your question, what I do to find time to relax and enjoy myself, I'm a fake Martha Stewart. I love cooking. I love entertaining. If it were up to me, I'd probably sometimes I think I should have been a chef because I love doing it so much. So that's one of the ways that I relax is if someone gives me a big kitchen, or, if you were to say, hey, Anita, I'm having this huge, girlfriend event at my house. I'm like, great, let me cook. I would be happy as a lark. I'm like, put me in the kitchen. I know that sounds horrible, but it's true. I love cooking. I love entertaining. I love taking care of people in that kind of way, being of service of how do I nurture not only your body, but when I'm in the kitchen, I know I nurture your soul and your spirit too.
That's
and
beautiful.
Then I'm a pamperer. I will go get my nails done and my hair done in a heartbeat.
Well, and I love it. So listeners, really think about what are the ways you can take care of yourself. And I was thinking we might be complimentary there, Dr. Anita, because I love having great food. I love doing the dessert. I love socializing, being with my friends, relaxing, all of that kind of stuff in a way where we're just being. We're not performing. We're not a role. We're not anything else. We're really embracing that time together. And I agree, finding those things that nourish you. So I love that you get your nails done, and you said your hair as well. You said nails and
hair, nails, all of it. Massage. I'm a little bit of a diva.
Oh, I can share that then. That's one way that we actually talk to each other behind the scenes. We call each other divas. But we mean that's a behind the scenes moment. So it's really a way of declaring that we are stepping into a leadership role in our life, that what we're doing is big, that we're making a difference. We're really called to serve, and that's kind of how we lightly tease each other about being divas.
Rebecca, can I interject real quickly? Because I think sometimes women struggle with the word diva because it has such a negative connotation to it because of Hollywood. So can I redefine it from my perspective real quick so that
in 30 seconds, yes. 30 seconds you can.
Diva basically, the diva is divinely inspired, virtuously anointed woman. So she's so divinely inspired on the inside, she can have a virtuous or victorious life and full of abundance. So that's what diva is now.
I love that. Let's all be divas.
That's right.
I think we can say, I am enough and I am a diva. I love it.
Make sure your hand's on your hip when you say it.
That's right. So standing and declaring that, we're actually getting ready to go to our next break. And what I want to let you know is Dr. Anita, say I'm combining Diva and Anita. Dr. Anita, our diva, has put together an amazing free gift. And so when you come back, we're going to tell you all about it, how to access it today, and really live an outrageously successful life. We'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Live up to your fullest potential. This is the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Are you struggling with changing or re-entering your career? Terry Hockett, CEO of What's for Work and transitional career strategist, works with her clients to craft their personal brand, gain clarity, and create career opportunities. Terry helps her clients discover and stand in their value and learn the tools and techniques needed to successfully navigate today's changing job market. Start today with your free membership. Step powerfully into the career of your dreams. Join Terry at whatsforwork.com. Have you read all the dating books and online sites, yet nothing seems to click? Have you tried everything and it still didn't work? Dr. Gary Salyer and Dr. Diane Frost are your co-hosts for the dynamic and transformative Safe to Love Again workshop, where you'll discover the secrets to using your unconscious mind to find your soulmate. Visit safetoloveagain.com. The workshop will be held on Saturday and Sunday, February 28th through March 1st, 2015, in Emeryville, California. It's time to move from stalemate with love to soulmate. Visit safetoloveagain.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Success starts here. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com. It's your world.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the commercial break and got to sit with Being a Diva. I loved that share. And I promised when you come back, that when we came back together, we would let you know about the amazing gift that Dr. Anita's made available to us. So, Dr. Anita, do you mind sharing about your gift that you're making available to all of our listeners?
Absolutely. I am offering an ebook called Big Reasons Why Women Entrepreneurs Struggle. You know, I work with quite a few women entrepreneurs around the world and helping them become outrageously successful. And I noticed that there are about 7 principles, or not principles, but 7 areas that a lot of women struggle. So I talk about that in the ebook and give some suggestions on how you can move past them.
Beautiful. And listeners, here's how you access this gift. And Dr. Anita, I want to thank you for being on our show today and making this gift generously available to everyone. Listeners, here's how you access it. If you're listening live on the Voice America channel, you want to look over to the right-hand side of the show banner. You're going to see a bunch of links that are in a yellow-orange color, and the top one says Radio Show Gifts. You simply click on that link, and it will open up to a world of empowering gifts. You put your name and email address in so we can stay in touch, and you will see this generous gift that Dr. Anita is making available to you so that you're aware of what these 7 things are and the tips and ways through them and around them so they don't hold you back. So, Dr. Anita, thank you for making this available.
My pleasure.
Thank you. And our listeners, if you're listening to the replay or you're listening on the road, you can also access this. Let me let you know how to do that as well. You simply go to my website, which is www.yourpurposedrivenpractice.com, and click on the radio tab, and up on the left-hand corner, you will see empowerment gifts. You simply click on that link, and again, the same opportunity will open up to you. We want you to be able to live outrageously successful lives. We want you to declare your truth and fully step into it and live the life that you're called to live in a really powerful way. You are the gift to each and every one of us. And we want you to know that you absolutely matter. You are absolutely enough. And Dr. Anita, I was wondering if you could share one more of those 4 foundational principles with us.
Sure. It's kind of funny. I'm going to kind of go off the path, if you don't mind, Rebecca. You love this. So this is a good point that kind of goes along with all of So I would love to leave the audience with this. It is your job. Well, I'll put it this way. It's not your job to convince others that you have a right to be outrageously successful. Mm-hmm. It is your job to convince yourself that you are enough and that you have a divine right to be outrageously successful. So that's a principle I'd like to leave with you today.
Thank you. I love that, because so often we're waiting for permission or someone else to tell us we matter or convince us that we're enough or that it's okay to live an outrageously successful life, that there's room for me too.
That's right.
And I love how you're sharing that it's up to each of us to do that, in a sense, for ourselves, to really make that choice, step into the truth, and really live a life where we are declaring that I am, that you are enough, just as you are.
That's right. That's right.
And listeners, let's stand together again. Assume the power pose, which is feet hip distance apart. Put your hands on your hips. Open up your chest. Put your shoulders back. Breathe in deeply. And what is it that you want to declare today? I want you to listen in the power pose for a moment. If it helps, you can actually take your hands off your hips for one moment. Put it on your heart. One hand on your heart. One hand on your head. Breathe in. What is it you want to declare? What is it that you choose to declare? What is it you need to declare? And then let's put your hands back on your hips. Deep breath. And together we're going to say, I am, and I'm going to leave a blank in there for you to fill in what it is you're declaring today. So hands on the hip. Ready? On the count of 3, Dr. Anita, will you do this with me and we'll leave that blank?
Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely.
So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. I am.
That's good.
And hear that. Feel it resonating within you and outside of you, echoing on the walls and back into your heart.
Yes, yes, yes.
And breathe that in and sit back down. Because I want to talk to you one more moment, heart to heart, life to life, soul to soul. You are beautifully, fearfully, and outrageously and wonderfully made, on purpose and with a purpose. And only you can bring the amazing gift of you forward. And we want and need you in our life. And if you're hiding, if you're not being bold, being outrageous so that we can see, hear, and feel you, we each miss out, as do you. So what I want to invite you to do, heart to heart, soul to soul, spirit to spirit, is to lean in. Say yes to the call in your heart. Say yes to living an outrageously successful life. Build the habit of daily declaring that you are, I am enough. I am the things that you're wanting to bring forward in your life. This is a powerful tip, a powerful tool that you can bring forward. Many times a day, you can create an outrageously successful life. moment by moment, beat by beat, heart by heart, statement by statement. And as you're declaring that you are enough, feel it on a cellular level. Know that you are creating that and building it in your mind. You are making that the reality. And when you do that, we are all richly served. We are all richly blessed. You are a gift that we want and need in our life. Mm-hmm. And as you go forth this week, declaring that you matter, declaring that you are enough, declaring your truth, really stepping into living an outrageously successful life, I charge you with always, always blooming where you're planted and shining. I look forward to talking to you next week.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time and 2 p.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.